Thanks a lot. Right now, firefighters in Pulaski County are keeping a close eye on the landmark area along Pitts Road. We're told that thousands of tires caught fire early Sunday, and as a result of this, 15 acres went up in flames. Thick black smoke could be seen for miles, and it took 6 area departments to keep that fire from spreading. Firefighters say by sunset yesterday, the fire had been mostly contained, but not before it destroyed a garage with at least 3 cars inside. Firefighters stayed on site throughout the night to make sure the fire didn't start back up. The fire came very close to Nancy Hollinger's home, and she says even though it's contained, she's still concerned.
I'm very worried. My husband bought this property for me, and it's all I've got. If it goes, I don't know, I'll just be homeless.
Right now, a burn ban is in effect for more than half of the state's counties. The Arkansas Forestry Commission says whomever set those tires on fire will be held responsible for the damage. The man who police say plotted a mass shooting on social media is due in court later this morning. Right now, 20-year-old Anthony Stewart is in the Pulaski County Jail being held without bond. He reportedly went on the social media site Meet Me and posted, quote, "Before I die, I want to do a mass shooting, break the record." North Little Rock police quickly identified and arrested him yesterday. Reports show that Stewart admitted to making the post and says he wanted to carry it out but didn't have a specific target. The state plans to respond to Stacey Johnson's clemency request today. He's the death row inmate fighting his execution sentence. Johnson was convicted in the 1993 killing of a DeQueen woman. His lawyer says he may be innocent and has asked his sentence be reduced to life without parole. Meanwhile, the state is appealing a circuit judge's decision to put all executions on hold. The first 2 executions were scheduled for tomorrow. And tonight, the Little Rock Board of Directors scheduled to vote on renaming Confederate Boulevard. If passed, it would be changed to Springer Boulevard. Now, the process started back in June after the church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina. The accused gunman reportedly included Confederate symbols in his social media post. Also on the agenda in Little Rock, new police cars. Right now, there's a proposal to spend $1.5 million for 33 new patrol vehicles. The cars would replace the current Ford Crown Victorias. That meeting starts tonight at 6 o'clock. And the Hot Springs City Board will decide if it'll authorize spending on new snow removal equipment. If approved, the city would spend about $55,000 on at least 3 plows. Last year, city leaders used salt and sanding to clear the roads. Well, Lonoke police working to improve the safety of trick-or-treaters in one neighborhood. The Privet Edition hosts hundreds of children each Halloween, but this year, officers say no outside cars will be allowed to drive during trick-or-treating. Officers say it's all about safety.
If you have traffic on both sides of the street and then you get a hayride that comes in full of kids, then it congests the whole neighborhood.
Lonoke police will be at the main entrances of the neighborhood on Halloween night, and they'll stay there until the last trick-or-treater goes home. They ask anyone driving to park in the school parking lot nearby. On to your world news now. Oscar Pistorius officially under house arrest. The double amputee Olympian was released from prison yesterday after serving 263 days behind bars. Pistorius was convicted last year of culpable homicide in the killing of his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp. And right now, federal officials are investigating a high-level security breach involving the personal emails of 2 top national security officials. Authorities are trying to find an anonymous hacker who reportedly broke into the emails of CIA Director John Brennan and Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson. Now, in response to this, the White House called on Congress to pass cybersecurity legislation held up by the Senate. The nation waits for word on whether Vice President Joe Biden will launch a presidential bid. A recent poll shows support for the current Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton would dip if Biden were to officially join the race. CBS's Brooke Silva Braga has the latest.
It was business as usual for Vice President Joe Biden on Monday. No big announcement yet, but when he spoke to members of the military at the White House, he mentioned his late son, Beau, an Iraq War veteran who reportedly urged Biden to run for president.
Our son was a good man, but he's no different than every one of those, in that case, soldiers who got off that flight with him.
Biden is said to be in no rush to make a decision, even as Hillary Clinton increases her lead in national polls.
If the reason that you're running is because you perceive that somebody else is not doing as well as they should, that's not a particularly effective rationale for voters.
Clinton will testify before the House Benghazi Committee on Thursday, testimony that could last 8 hours. On the Republican side, Donald Trump continues to lead. He's won virtually every national poll for 4 months.
I don't want anybody's money. They form all these PACs. People pour money into PACs. I don't want them.
The Secret Service is reviewing requests for protection from the Trump and Ben Carson campaigns. While Carson has denied the request came from his team, the former neurosurgeon, who's polling second to Trump, admitted to receiving many threats. Brooke Silva Braga for CBS News.
And back here at home, the North Metro Medical Center in Jacksonville is in financial trouble, and it's leaving its employees in limbo. Interim CEO Michael Randall says a mix-up over a new insurance provider led to coverage cancellations for the entire staff. Randall says the bills have since been paid and everyone is once again covered, but not before dozens of calls to regulators. The hospital has already faced tax liens from the IRS and 6 lawsuits in the last year over unpaid bills to vendors. A new Little Rock police substation set to open this spring. The department made the announcement yesterday. That new facility will be at the Josephine Pankey Station on Cantrell Road.
Our city is growing, and it's growing west probably faster than any other section of the city. So this footprint will give us an opportunity to be able to deal with some of the challenges that we're already seeing west of 430 to help us deal with some of those problems.
Now, the station will also serve as a community center for public events and meetings. And the Big Rock project finally finished, and plans are now in the works to improve the Arkansas River bridges. Last night, transportation officials hosted a meeting in North Little Rock to get the public's input. People could make suggestions as well as see some of the ideas being discussed for modes of transportation other than cars.
It's about highways, it's about bridges, but it's also about public transportation, also bike and pedestrian movements, passenger rail. So we're looking at all modes of transportation.
Priority items include solving some traffic congestion and getting a balance between rural and urban transportation. October doesn't just mean pumpkins, it's also peak season for apples. Food blogger Debbie Arnold will show us some recipes using apples from right here in the natural state. We'll visit with her coming up. Tom?
Oh, that looks delicious.
Doesn't that look good?
I could use something hot right now. Something
apple
soup. You're right. Outside over Little Rock and most of Arkansas, skies are mostly fair to clear. Another chilly start to the day. We'll cover the weather for the future. I think you're going to like it. Some rain coming up. We're back in just a moment.